Hey everybody, I'm Rockin' Robbie Billups.
I'm John, Hammertime, Holshoe.
And we are the Pop Culture Philosophers, and tonight we're going to celebrate the beginning, the inaugural video, Season 2.
Season 2, The Deuce.
The Deuce.
The Deuce.
Taking a deuce. Deuces, what? Alright gang, Pop Culture Philosophers, Season 2 begins right now. John, Hammertime, Holshoe, Rockin' Robbie Billups, we are here to answer some questions, a little bit of Q&A. We've been gone for a little bit. We've actually been making a lot of progress. We are in a new studio, a brand new Huntsville attic. We got a podcast section over there, video section right here. We got a lot of fun, exciting stuff happening, John. I mean, it was a big move. We've been out. John, what have you been up to in our hiatus or away from podcasting and YouTube? What have you been doing?
I took a Tex-Mex cooking class.
Okay.
And that was it.
Okay. Well, I've been doing some things, including I helped work on a comic book. I was the editor of a book called Speck that is, of course, written and created by L.W. Allen, my good buddy Lance. I'm going to show you the book right here. I'm going to put it right over John's face right there. That's Speck #1. You can get it on Comixology right now or in person at comic book shops in Huntsville, Alabama, if you're in the area. But there's a link down below to get the comic book. Dude, it's really cool. Lance had a fantastic vision, and I helped him just kind of get it going, and like really all the credit belongs to him. Claudio is the artist, Claudio Munez, and Amanda Whitley. Amanda has done such a fantastic job inking this book. This is her first book inking, and it's fantastic. It is great. Dude, all of these guys have done such a great job. Check out Speck. That's what I've been up to. Plus, I bought this sweet-ass Fin Fang Foom action figure. So I thought that was pretty cool. Anyway, we're going to take some of your questions. Let's leave Finn there. Anyway, we took some of your questions about what have we been up to. You know, we've been away for the summer. There's a lot of stuff that we missed. A lot of cool commentary, a lot of cool, a lot of cool movies, a lot of cool pop culture news happened. So let's start here with our good buddy Justin Goldsmith, who we know from the show. He wants to know basically a recap of the summer. Like, what so far is the best movie of the summer, John?
I would say the Batman Superman, but versus Superman, it wasn't the director's cut. It's the ultimate cut.
Ultimate edition.
Because when I saw it in the theaters, I maybe the hype was too much, but I wasn't let down. I just was. I don't know. I enjoyed the film. Don't get me wrong, but that ultimate cut is so much better. It's such a great film.
So you're gonna pull BVS, right? Okay, I would agree with John. It's the ultimate cut of BVS, but I guess some people may not think that's fair or whatever. If I have to go like summer, like May through now, I haven't actually seen a lot of these movies, but to be honest with you, Civil War. Captain America's Civil War is really, really good. So I know everybody's getting tired. I don't know, everybody's worried about like, are we going to get tired of comic book movies and all that stuff? But Civil War, BVS, those are my two favorite movies so far of the year. Like, no lie. Of course, I have not seen Kubo and the Two Strings yet. Just going to say that. I'm really anticipating that movie. Also, Justin wants to know some other things. What's your favorite comic book of the summer, John?
I don't know if I could pick one. I like the Rebirth, the DC Rebirth line. I'm liking all the stuff that I've read. I haven't read all of it, but I do like the Rebirth. I think they did a good job. I'm loving the art style. I'm really happy with Rebirth. I think DC hit it out of the park. DC
Rebirth has been fantastic. It's been really intriguing with the whole mystery of the Watchmen in the DC universe. And we got some theories we'll get to later on in future videos. But DC Rebirth has been so good, and DC has also owned it with Young Animal. Young Animal just started with the new Doom Patrol by Gerard Way. And regardless of what you think about My Chemical Romance or not, he is a great comic book writer, and Doom Patrol has been amazing. So DC has just killed it this year. Marvel has been lagging. Marvel's got some good books. Vision, Moon Knight, what the fuck? Moon Knight, like, what happened in Moon Knight? We have to see. Anyway, Marvel's whole direction hasn't really been appealing to me much, but DC has just been nailing it. And of course, classic hits, few soon-to-be classic hits. From Image, we got Black Monday Murders from Jonathan Hickman, and we got from Ed Brubaker, Kill or Be Killed. Both of those books are books that debuted this summer. from Image that are fantastic, and also Paper Girls. So if I had to pick one book, best of the summer, it's Paper Girls. Paper Girls by Brian K. Vaughan from Image is fantastic. Art by Cliff Chang. Check it out if you haven't. It is so good. One more thing from Justin. What's your favorite TV show of the summer, John?
What was on during the summer?
Stranger Things. That's what I would say.
Oh yeah, I was thinking network television.
No joke.
Stranger Things phenomenal.
We were on our hiatus when Stranger Things happened. We love Stranger Things. I think it's great. A lot of people like it because of the nostalgia factor. It's set in the 80s, all that stuff. I think it's even deeper and richer than that. I just love this movie. The movie. Because it is like a movie over like 8 episodes. It's so good. Winona Ryder, whoever the guy is, I can't remember his name. He was in Newsroom and he plays Hopper. He's amazing.
Oh, like Timothy Dalton.
Kids are Timothy Dalton. These kids are amazing. This Matthew Modine. Stranger Things is so great. Like we wanted to make a video for Stranger Things because it was so good. What did you think about Stranger Things?
I actually forgot. When I was thinking network television for some reason, there's not a whole lot in the summertime. Yeah.
Dancing with the Stars, 88.
If Netflix that day,
1980.
after the first 2 episodes of Stranger Things, said, you know what, we're tripling what we charge for Netflix per month. I've been like, here's my money. I really enjoyed it. Again, they kind of not enough good things to be said about it that probably you've already heard. It's phenomenal. It's the best thing Netflix has ever done, and I don't think they can top it. I love it.
Stranger Things is great. We are super pumped for season 2. Our good buddy Jason from RCR Reviews, fantastic podcast and website you should check out. Links down below. Mark says, does comic book accuracy really matter to the quality of a show or a movie? So in a comic book adaptation, does accuracy to the comic book matter to you, John?
To an extent, I do have a problem with, you know what, you don't have to go one for one, have the costume identical, maybe it doesn't work theatrically, or have this person be exactly like this. But I do take issue sometimes, somebody will take a well-known character that's very popular and be like, you know what, that's great and all that he's from space, but I'm the director and on my take of it, he's actually from underground. You know, don't completely change the direction. And because I understand that certain directors and certain writers, they want to tell their own story, but sometimes there's already established characters and you don't need to change so much of the source material. But at the same time, I don't mind somebody putting their own spin on it to an extent, or trying to bring that vision to the big screen or TV. There's got to be sometimes during adaptation you have some changes. So
I would say all that matters, Mark, is the spirit of the character, right? Like Batman, as long as he's still Batman, it's going to work across any media, across any kind of genre or whatever. As long as the spirit of the character is there, I do not care. I don't care if Civil War happened exactly like the comic book Civil War. I don't care if the death of Superman in BVS, spoilers, happens like the death of Superman in the comic book. I don't care if Doomsday doesn't look exactly right. I don't care if the Abomination looks crazy. I don't care about that stuff. All I care about is the spirit of the characters. If the spirit of the characters is represented, if the mythology that's there, if the essence of it is there, then I'm down for it. I don't care about any changes. You could take Batman, and as long as he's Batman, you can set it in the year 3559, and I would still be down with that version
Space
of Batman.
Batman.
As long as it's true and a well-executed movie. So that's a great question, Jason.
Yet the spirit didn't do well on the big film. The actual spirit bombed.
So our buddy Brian, and we'll just call you B-Dubs. B-Dubs knows who he is, and he wants to know, why am I the only person that gets Art Ops at the Deep? Art Ops is a book from Vertigo. It's because you're a hipster, Brian. No lie, sorry. You're just a hipster. You're into things that other people aren't into yet, and that's okay. Art Ops is weird. It's zany. It's Mike Allred. It's a really good book. And you're the only guy that reads it because you're the only guy that gets it in this town. This sad town that we live in, full of awesome people. We love you all. But Brian, you're the only guy that gets it, to be honest with you. So that's why. Brian's got another question. What tools and techniques do you use to handle the grief of the completed S.H.I.E.L.D. issues by Hickman and Weaver remaining unreleased? Drugs and alcohol? Cigarettes? I don't know. I don't know. Love from my lady. Something to keep me going. PCP.
What has kept those from being released, you know?
Marvel.
So they're done. Marvel
if you don't know what we're talking about, Jonathan Hickman and Dustin Weaver did this awesome book called S.H.I.E.L.D., where it was S.H.I.E.L.D. and they've been existing since like ancient times, and like Leonardo da Vinci was an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Galileo Galilei and Isaac Newton, all these historical figures in math and science and history, they were all agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And like Galileo already saved us from Galactus once. And just super cool stuff. There are 2 issues that remain. It's done. Hickman has written it. Weaver has illustrated it. Marvel has not released it. It's been years. I don't think they ever will. The only thing that keeps me going on is meditation, incense, and magic and psychedelics. I'm just going to say that. So that's what I would say. John, I got a question real quick. I want to know what your favorite album or song of the summer was. Let's go favorite song. Album if you want, but what's your favorite song so far of the summer?
When's the last thing I purchased or downloaded? You know what I actually enjoyed was Andrew, which is McMahon?
Andrew McMahon, yeah. We saw Weezer, we met Weezer.
Yeah.
So in July we met Weezer. There's a picture, we're probably showing it right now, of me meeting Weezer because we're so awesome. And if you notice, John is not there. That's because he was super ultra sweaty in his photo.
I'm embarrassed by the picture.
I'm not going to embarrass it. I'm not going to embarrass him and show the photo right here. That would be so funny.
Thank you.
Anyway, so we met Weezer, but we saw Andrew McMahon opened up for them. That was amazing.
Yeah, he was fantastic. We also saw Panic at the Disco,
and
I enjoyed them live. I'm not against them. I just don't know them very well, and I really thought they were great live.
Our buddy Alex Andrew asked, what do you think of the Godmother film directed by Gerard Johnson and produced by Daniela Cretu that will be released or actually filmed this year? I don't know much about this film. I actually had to look it up. But I'm glad you asked because it kind of touches on this, like Ghostbusters and stuff like that. Like, what's up with doing movies, but the version of it with a woman? So like the Godmother instead of the Godfather. Now, the Godmother is going to star Catherine Zeta-Jones, and it's going to be based on an actual story. I think she was like this crazy cocaine tycoon or something like that or whatever. That's a valid subject for a film, and I think it's a good idea. And using the name Godmother obviously makes people think of Godfather, and maybe it seems like a cheap stunt, but you got to do anything to get people to pay attention to your movie. This is an indie filmmaker who's trying to make a mark. He's got a big actress. He's got a decent idea, and he's got a pretty cool title that will make a lot of people kind of interested. So I think it's a cool story. As long as the stories are cool, I don't mind like any kind of racial or gender swap at all. I don't care as long as the story is there. I haven't personally seen Ghostbusters yet, but I still want to. I'm not one of those guys that's like, blah, PC, Give me a good story, I'll digest it, take what I can, and learn from life. So what do you think about Godmother?
I don't think about it. Interesting. It's an interesting concept. If I see the trailer and it looks interesting, maybe I'll check it out. But it's not.
I'm surprised nobody's done it yet.
Not high on my radar.
I'm surprised nobody's done it yet, to be honest with you. John, what's your most disappointing moment in sports for the summer so far? Mine was last night when the Red Sox totally won in the bottom of the ninth against the Yankees when we were leading 5-2. Oh my God, it was terrible. What about you, John?
It would just be this fight for the wild card spot with the Tigers. This whole not a summer thing. Obviously, we're heading into the fall, but it's been they're a better team than this, so it's disappointing. We're both baseball guys, so it's gonna be baseball answers.
Okay, James Donahoe, good buddy over at Killing Time. Check those guys out on YouTube. Link down below. We're giving all you guys some love tonight, right, John? That's what.
There'll be a lot of links.
That's what PCP.
40 links, believe.
PCP's about love, man. Yeah. Anyway, James, you asked us. You guys have covered several subjects on horror movies, and as we know, good horror is getting harder to find. So my question is, what do you guys think is the biggest problem plaguing horror movies today, John?
I'm gonna go with remake issues. Number one, do we need another Poltergeist? Do we need to restart the Friday the 13th or Nightmare franchise? There's been so many remakes. I don't feel there's a lot of originality. Maybe it's because the studios are scared. Like, we have to use these properties because, A, we invested money into these properties, but B, people aren't going to go see something original. I feel there's not a lot of originality in horror films.
I think that special effects and escalation play a big part. Exactly what you said, the lack of originality. I'm not against the remake, but the lack of originality is a big thing that's plaguing horror movies. Also, special effects and escalation. Like, people are relying too much on the special effects and not the concept and the story of the movie itself, right? So you're worried about how many kills can we get, how gory can we make it, and people, because of escalation, it just keeps getting crazier and crazier with the special effects. People are trying to outdo everybody. That's what it becomes about. That's what people want. They want the gory, like, super slasher. And we love special effects laden movies. Don't get us wrong. And we love really well executed kill scenes in movies. Like Tom Savini, who I met once before, is amazing, and I love that kind of stuff. But when people are expecting that and not a good story, that's the problem. I think people are eating up these horror movies that are kind of like shitty, and the fact that people are eating it up is not helping at all. So I think that is the biggest thing. And also, I don't think that we as Americans right now are scared. Horror kind of happens at booms. Like the Great Depression led to a horror boom. The Cold War led to a horror boom. The Vietnam War led to a horror boom. 9/11 led to a boom in horror with like Hostel and Saw, stuff like that, and the zombie craze. I think we've come out of that now. And I think it's going to take the next thing kind of, unfortunately, to scare us again, to get us back into horror, make good horror movies come out again. That's what I think. So I think it's a cycle. I think we're in a down point of the cycle. John, Drew wants to know, why do you want to shoot him in the ass?
That's a very good question, Drew, and you have very pretty handwriting.
Our buddy Manuel from the Island Boys, Chamorro Cinema on YouTube, links down below, showing love yet again. He gave us a video. Let's check that out right now.
There, you crazy pop culture philosophers, Island Boy Manuel here, and what I want your opinion on, what I need your 2 cents on, what I need you guys to break down for me is summer movie season 2016. It just felt kind of meh? And is that just because our expectations as fans has gotten so high that there was no way to please us? Or is it that the films were just that bad? Or maybe we just had so many of them that they all just kind of ran together and we started to see that, the stories aren't terribly original. I don't know. I want to know what you guys think. So fill me in on Pop Culture Philosophers. I want to know.
So we basically wanted to know, why did the movies this summer suck? John, what do you got to say?
I don't think there were suck. Maybe I think the issue I had, I set it up very. Maybe the bar was raised pretty high. Maybe my expectations.
John
were
raises
set
his
too
bars
high.
very high.
Yeah, maybe I had too much expectation.
He can't even reach the bars that he raises.
I can't.
Rises.
I can't. Yeah.
Lifts up.
I bring a step ladder with me, but I feel.
Yes.
I don't know. I think we were setting such a high standard. But you're right. I also don't think there was a lot of great summer films, or maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm just. I don't know.
I think that we rely too much now on movies that are going to be franchises. I think that we rely too much on comic book movies. Like, I love comic book movies. I love big, tentpole movies that I can invest a few years of my life into and see multiple, movies and films from this, right? I like that, but I think that we rely on that too much. Like, we had Indiana Jones back in the day, but we still had stuff like Goonies and Monster Squad and E.T., films that were one-offs that were cool. We had our Jurassic Parks and our Matrix trilogies, but we still had single movies that were good. And it just seems like everybody, at least the studios are trying to promote movies that are just huge and that are going to like the Harry Potters and the Marvel Studios and all that stuff. People want that giant franchise that's going to last for 1 to 2 decades instead of just trying to make a good movie. I think that's a recurring theme of what I'm saying. I'm getting tired of all this. I love it. I love this stuff. I love Iron Man. I love BVS. I love comic book movies. I love sci-fi. I love all that stuff. But can we just get some good films and not worry about the franchise? And I think that's what hurts in summer especially. This year we had comic book adaptations. We had a fucking sequel to a movie 20 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Another Star Trek movie. A remake of Ghostbusters. They're all remakes. They're not original. Let's just make a good movie and give us something new and give us something original. That's all I'm saying. I don't know. Now let's get to Lance from Black Speck. Lance asked us a couple more questions. Do you think Kara and James Olsen's relationship will suffer due to his true love being on the show? I believe this is a reference to Supergirl. Absolutely. What do you think, John?
I don't think it's anything to worry about because isn't her husband Channing Tatum in real life?
Really?
Yeah, is it
Lucy Lane?
Lucy Lane.
She was in Step Up.
Yes. So I loved Jimmy Olsen on the show.
She was in Step Up.
But look at Channing Tatum.
Yeah.
But for real, I think that
I would choose Olsen over Tatum. Like for real, if that version of James Olsen, like I hate Jimmy Olsen. I hate Jimmy Olsen. I love Superman comics and I hate Jimmy Olsen. But this is the best version of Olsen I've ever seen, is in Supergirl.
I do like that version on the show.
Absolutely.
I think he's fantastic. I think that...
And he's dreamy.
You can't... I don't think it helps if the superheroes don't have this lovey-dovey, happy relationship, perfect life. And you see that in The Flash. You see that in pretty much every superhero show.
Well, doesn't it get boring, though?
Yeah, it doesn't help the show. Look at Arrow and Felicity or whatever. It kind of...
TV shows historically do not fare well after the romantic leads get together. Look at stuff like Cheers. Look at Friends. Look at any big TV show. When the main two love interests get together, it kind of ruins everything. So I understand that, but I do think that it could just be more, it could be done better. But will it affect? Absolutely, it's going to affect it, Lance, because that's the whole point of it. That's why there's that triangle. Because they know that they can't get Olsen and Supergirl together yet, because that's going to signify the end of the show. And Supergirl's a good show that we need more of, and I'm super excited to have it come back on CW, even though we're getting less Cat Grant. Another question from Lance. Is income tax just a century-long fad that will end soon? No. What do you think?
I think it is.
He's got a serious question, though. Would independent comic creators in general do better with books similar to the current Image brand and not as opposed to being similar to the original Image launch? Not sure how many small press books you follow, but there are so many superheroes. Basically, should independent comic book creators not do superheroes? Absolutely. You should not do superheroes. You should focus on storytelling. Seriously, I hate to say it, but Marvel and DC, they got superheroes dominated. Superheroes are everywhere. Tell us something new. Bendis got into the industry by doing crime fiction. Okay? Hickman got into the industry by doing science fiction. These guys get into the industry doing their own thing. It's not the 80s anymore. You can't be like Grant Morrison or Alan Moore and get into the industry doing superheroes. It's not like the early days of Image. And if you look, the early days of Image, those characters don't last. Like Spawn and Savage Dragon are still around. The others are bumbling around in Nowhereville right now. But East of West, Manhattan Project, Saga, all the Ed Brubaker stuff, those are the books that are going to last. Those are the books, Wicked and the Divine, oh my goodness. Paper Girls, those are the books that last. Those are the books that are going to be coming up. Descender, Injection. Do original stories. Write what you would write for a movie. Don't write what you would write for a superhero comic book, is what I would say to independent comic book creators. John, any thoughts?
No, I agree entirely. The original Image was just that. Let's give these, or founded by some great artists, some great creators that wanted
popular artists of the time.
Yeah, and they were already doing superheroes, and so they brought over their own superheroes. Unfortunately, I think that there's such a saturation of superheroes, and I think that's what's working for Image now so well, is they've diversified, and they've got so much great independent stuff. Yeah, you still have some of the marquee stuff there, like Spawn, but Spawn probably doesn't sell as well as some of those other books now, right?
Yeah.
And so I like the direction Image has taken. I think if they would have stuck to course the way they started, they probably wouldn't do as well as they are.
Superheroes are hard to get into right now because the superheroes at Marvel and DC work so well in popular culture, especially in movies now, because even non-DC and Marvel superhero films don't really fare that well. And the reason why is DC and Marvel, those characters have had so much energy put into them, so many ideas, so many writers and artists have worked on those that they have taken decades to become these entities in and of themselves almost. It's almost like we have made Batman and Superman and Spider-Man real characters because everybody is so closely connected to them and they know them so well, so intimately. It's hard to do that nowadays with superheroes, and it's just, I think you just need to tell a good story, and it's hard to do a superhero book that's not picking up from another superhero book. Look at those Image books. Look at those early Image books, Wetworks, Spawn, Wildcats. Brigade, all the Rob Liefeld, Youngblood, those look exactly like the books that those creators were working on before.
Yeah.
There's, it's like, a darker, demonic kind of Spider-Man-ish thing with a big cape is Spawn. And Youngblood looked like X-Force. But like the evil, the evil like stepbrother of X-Force. Like, I don't know. Like, I think superheroes, I think that same story can be done without the capes and tights. Absolutely. The hero's journey can be done with anything. So do everything. I would tell you to do science fiction. That's the next big thing. Is crazy sci-fi, psychedelic sci-fi is the next big wave. I'm telling you, psychedelic sci-fi is the next big wave. I'm saying that right here. Okay, just gonna say that. All right. Anyway, thank you guys for checking us out. That brings us to the end of this video. We want to talk real quick about some of our upcoming season 2 offerings. We got PCP movie night coming back, right, John?
I'm excited.
Excited, super excited. In fact, in just a few days, Carrie. We'll be talking about Carrie. It's the 40th anniversary of that film. It's great. Top 5s are coming back with top 5. Oh, speaking of Carrie, Stephen King horror movies. Is there a top 5? Absolutely, and we have come up with it, and you guys cannot wait to see it. Super Mythology is coming back very soon with Superman, Sun Gods, and Messiahs, and other cool things like PCP Conversations starting up, and don't forget about the podcast, right, John? What we got coming up on the podcast?
Next weekend, Star Trek.
Star Trek. It was the 50th anniversary in September, so we're doing a Star Trek podcast. We got other things coming up like Disney. Ooh, we got superhero TV. Westerns.
Very excited for Westerns.
Westerns. Finally, Mike Matthews, we're doing a Westerns podcast. Also, we got some really cool stuff like 70s movies, Tarantino, Coen Brothers. A lot of stuff we're going to be getting into. Thank you guys for liking, sharing, and subscribing. Please do subscribe if you don't already. And please click that thumbs up button. It really helps us out a lot. Let us know down below what you think of the video, what you think of the summer, what you're excited about in the future. We are Pop Culture Philosophers. I can't thank you enough. I'm Rockin' Robbie Billups.
I'm John Hammertime Holshoe.
And we will catch you on the next video and the next podcast.